Hey, Eric, JoeTheLawyer here. Just heard your last podcast, man. You know, I subscribed, I put money on Indiegogo for this ref book, about 30, 40 years ago now? No fucking updates, nothing. And now I find myself in the weird-ass position of having to actually buy Raji's shit off his stupid-ass website so that I can help ensure that Raji delivers the shit I already fucking paid for with the goddamn ref book Indiegogo thing. But there's no guarantee that even if I buy Raji shit, I'm going to get my ref book anyway. How fucked up is this? If I didn't think the guy was genuinely hurting, I think it's the brilliant motherfucking scheme. It's great. It's fucking fantastic. What the hell, man? Just give me my book. That's all I want. Give me my fucking ref book. Now it looks like it's a goddamn $33,000 joint loan that may never get repaid. Jesus fucking Christ. Anyway, later.
Hello, and welcome to the Tavern Chat Podcast. I'm your host, Eric Tankar, your bartender in the OSR, your main proprietor of the Tankar's Tavern blog, Discord server, Meme group, Facebook group, Twittering, and Instagram. So, yesterday, James Raggy IV announced that Lamentations of the Flame Princess is in severe financial straits. Loans over 100,000 U.S. currency, of which about 70,000 is coming due in about a month, maybe end of the summer, maybe end of August. I don't know. But not good. And he's also admitted that he hasn't been paying his freelancers. And the problems aren't just the pandemic. The problem started last year because he put pretty much nearly all of Lamentations' eggs in the Zach S. basket of creativity. And we all know how that went pear-shaped. Now, yes, I do believe that Zach is a vile individual. At least my experiences with him online. If you dare have a different opinion than him, and you dare be able to defend your opinion, if he can't belittle you, he would block you. So yeah, I think Zach is a fuck. I don't know whether the accusations against him are truthful or not. I don't think his prior work should have been unpersoned and removed from the market, although I will say that some of it feels phoned in at times. Red and Pleasant Land, I think even those that don't like Zach personally, I have to admit it's one of the better products ever released, not just in the OSR, in RPGs in general. So, just wanted to come out and say that. Now, we have a voicemail from Joe the Lawyer. Joe puts this in a very good perspective. So let's listen to Joe.
Look out.
Look out. Here comes Joe. So yeah, Joe, you know what? I don't disagree with you. Here's the deal. As Raggy explains it, he has to raise over 60 grand, about 65 grand in the next month or so to keep from defaulting on the first government loan that's coming due. That he admits that he got the loans based upon projections of what he would do with 2 new Zach products last year, which went to shit because Zach was unpersoned. So, that's not counting the fact that the Lamentations of the Flame Princess Weird Fantasy Ref Book, which raised like $33,000, he has no money to refund people because he has no money, right? So that money's gone. It's spent. So if you're thinking that, if Jane suddenly raises $65,000, Ref Book is back on track, no.
How likely is it that this fellow would raise $65,000?
Well,
or euros or whatever.
Well, no. Well, that's 60,000 euros. So it's about 65,000 USD. Well, here's the deal. And it's interesting enough, I just read an article on N-World that is one of the best articles I have ever read on N-World. And it's about how to make a living in the RPG industry. And they talk about the 1,000 fans theory. TFT. Not the fantasy trip. The 1,000 fans theory. And the theory goes apparently like this. If you have 1,000 extremely loyal fans, and they will all spend $100 on your product, on you, on what you produce a year, you have the potential to make $100,000 a year. Now that's not pure profit, mind you, but that is money coming in. Think about it. Now, James says in 2018, his sales were €250,000. Okay, of which he had to pay himself about, I think it was like 40 or 45,000 euros. 2019, when pear-shaped, he paid himself, I think, 4,000 euros. So he didn't make much money in 2019,
Wow.
and this year he's crapping the shitter.
Well, you feel bad for the guy, for all this happening to him, but it seems kind of weird. Like, I think, like, the tone, like, what I hear in Joe's email is like, okay, now this ref book is held hostage. We need this money or else it's not happening.
Well, here's the thing with the ref book. When this...
Which I don't know anything about. It
well,
sounds what I think,
The ref book was crowdfunded back in, I believe, in 2013, October 2013. It funded. Mm-hmm. And James was like, on a lark, I'm going to make like January 2019 the due date, because it'll never be that. It'll never take me over 5 years to get this shit done.
Oh.
We're going to be coming up on 7 this fall. Oops. And the money is spent. Okay, that's it. He's complaining in one of his recent updates. They spent over 7,000 euros on getting the ref book together. And here's the problem. All right, this is the problem with a lot of Kickstarters, especially when they're not written ahead of time. You raise $33,000 for a project that you haven't done yet. It takes you years to get done. Well, guess what? You got the money in 2013. Now it's 2020, and for you, in your mind, putting money towards that project is now a loss, right? Because you're not making money off it now. Your money's already been spent. Mm. So that's part of the problem.
Maybe don't spend.
That's part of the problem with Kickstarters, especially creators, if they don't plan in advance. Now, here's the other thing. If James had been able to handle this Kickstarter, if James didn't spend so long and putting it on a back burner because he was doing other projects, he could actually do a Kickstarter or an Indiegogo, a crowdfunder, to try to raise money. Because does James fit under that 1,000 fan theory? He possibly does. There are a lot of loyal fans of James Raggi's publishing. Lamentations of the Flame Princess is very boutique, high-end products, physically beautiful to look at. I find the recent stuff, for the most part, is unusable at the game table, even if well written, because they are party fucks. But that's just my opinion. Other people may have similar or diverse opinions. But the fact remains is, even if you have those 1,000 fans that over the course of a year will spend $100 on you, and you could raise $100,000 in the course of a year, can you raise that money in 5 weeks or 4 weeks or whatever the case may be? You're asking a lot. Now, the other thing is, and we don't know, if the Finnish government says, okay, you defaulted on your loan, we are going to now take everything that you have. We're going to take all your books. We're going to take all your product. Now, what if you're somebody who buys something in the next couple weeks? First of all, you buy from the U.S. shop, which hasn't received its shipment yet. What if that never ships? And I'm not trying to be Mr. Negative Nanny or whatever, but it's an awkward spot. And like Joe says, am I obligated, if I want to see the ref book, because I was a backer for the ref book, am I obligated to buy shit from James in the hopes that James takes in enough income so that he can pay off this loan? Now, here's the other thing. Okay? Let's be honest.
There's no guarantee.
Well, not only that. Say James takes in $65,000 over the next 4 weeks selling stuff. He's not selling PDFs. He's selling physical product. It has to ship. Shipping has a cost, even if everything else is already bought and paid for, and is sunk cost. He's got to ship, so he needs to take in more than 65 USC to clear the money to pay back the loan. I wish James luck.
Wow.
I really do. Do I want to throw more money after bad? No. And on a retired income, a fixed income, I don't have the discretionary funds to purchase stuff that I probably don't need in the hopes that James will have enough money to publish something that I paid for already. Does that make sense? So, I wish James luck. If you, one of my listeners, has the money to send James and buy something, by all means do so. Or you can just back this podcast. We could take donations from subscribers.
You'll probably have more of a payoff.
Well, at least you get this podcast pretty much on a daily basis. Oh, folks. Can you make a living off this hobby? I'm sure it's going to be a huge topic that I'll probably discuss that with Bad Mike and maybe a special guest we're working on. I don't know if we're going to do a Talk and Crit tomorrow. We were talking about doing a Talk and Crit tomorrow. It was going to be every other week, but there's been such a huge interest in it. Not just for listeners, but people who want to be on Talk and Crit. With
everybody wants to be on Talking Crit.
It's Bad Mike.
Or on the Tavern Chat.
Oh yeah. Well, they want to get all cozy with Bad Mike. I don't blame them.
Not too shabby.
The devil is sexy. Love you, Mike. Love you, folks. It's still the pandemic. I'm not going to give you the whole huge speech again. I'm just going to remind you: use your common sense, please. For the sake of your family, your friends, your loved ones, the people you fucking hate. Use your common sense. As always, be safe, be well, God bless, roll those dice. And I will talk with you all, God willing, tomorrow. Later, folks.